The man in the corner wore an old jacket and cracked leather boots. He counted a few coins before ordering coffee and a slice of pie. No one inside the diner knew that he could buy the entire block if he wanted. Before the rain stopped, everyone in that small room would discover what real wealth looks like. Seattle. A cold gray morning wrapped the city in drizzle. The neon sign outside Marigold's diner flickered faintly, casting a soft glow on the wet street. Inside, the smell of cinnamon pie and fresh coffee filled the air. Sarah, a waitress in her 30s, moved between tables with practiced grace. Her smile was kind, but her eyes carried quiet exhaustion. Her mother's medical bills waited at home on the kitchen counter, and rent was already past due. At table 5, two businessmen in sharp suits talked loudly about money and opportunity. In the far corner, a quiet older man sat alone. His gray hair was messy, his boots worn, his hands calloused as if they remembered years of hard work. The taller businessman snapped his fingers. "Miss, when you're done with that guy in the corner, we'll have 2 lattes. Some people should eat where they can afford it." The other chuckled. "This place would make a great investment. I bet the owner would sell cheap." Sarah forced a polite smile. "Right away, gentlemen." As she turned to the coffee pot, she muttered under her breath, "Not everyone measures wealth the same way." The old man looked up briefly, eyes calm, and gave her a small nod as if he had heard. The door swung open and a teenage boy rushed in, soaked to the bone. "Ma'am," he said softly, "I just need something warm. I lost my bus pass, but I'll pay you back." Sarah glanced at the tip jar. Only a few small bills. Before she could speak, one businessman laughed. "You can't save the world with coffee." Sarah hesitated for a long second, then smiled gently. "Maybe not," she said, "but I can start with 1 cup." She poured hot chocolate for the boy and set it in front of him. The old man in the corner smiled quietly and took a slow sip of his coffee. As the boy left, the old man rose and placed a few bills beside his plate. He said softly, "You did the right thing." Sarah gave a weary laugh. "My landlord might not agree." The man smiled, his eyes kind and knowing. "Money can buy comfort, but not peace when you look in the mirror. Keep choosing kindness. It pays in ways you cannot imagine." He adjusted his hat and stepped out into the drizzle. The bell above the door jingled softly, then silence. Days passed. Sarah created a small sign beside the counter that read, "Warm cup jar. Leave what you can, take what you need." The sign made a few people smile. Some left $1, others took 1. Her co-workers called her naive. The businessmen returned again, shaking their heads. "You're too soft," one said. "You'll run this place into the ground." Sarah smiled. Kindness has never ruined anyone. One rainy afternoon, the landlord came in with a folder under his arm. "Sarah," he said gently, "the owner is late again. If payment isn't made by Friday, the diner closes." Her hands trembled slightly. "Understood," she whispered. That night, after everyone left, she sat alone by the window. Rain ran down the glass like tiny rivers. She stared at the empty jar and whispered, "I have done everything I could." Her reflection looked back, tired but calm. For a moment she closed her eyes and prayed for one more chance. The next morning, the mailman brought a plain white envelope. Inside was a bank receipt showing the rent and overdue bills paid in full. No sender, no name. Only a note written on lined paper. Sarah read aloud, voice shaking. "Keep the lights on. Keep the coffee warm. Some riches are meant to be shared." Her heart pounded. The handwriting looked familiar, steady, and old-fashioned. The businessman who had just entered froze. "Wait, wasn't that the old man from last week?" Sarah looked at the note, smiled softly, and whispered, "He used to sit in that corner years ago when this diner first opened. He said it reminded him of his first job. Maybe he just came home one last time." She placed the note beside the warm cup jar and let out a long breath. Weeks passed. The diner stayed open. Word spread about the warm cup jar and the mysterious donor. Customers came not just for food, but for warmth. They dropped notes of gratitude and small bills into the jar every day. One morning, the same businessman returned. He looked different, quieter. He placed a $20 bill in the jar and said softly, "For the next kid who needs a cup." Sarah smiled, her eyes glistening. Behind her, the neon sign flickered again, brighter this time. She framed the note beside a new sign that read, "True wealth is not what you keep, but what you give away." The smell of coffee and cinnamon filled the air. Outside, the rain had stopped, and the morning light touched the old wooden counter. Truly wealthy people are often the most humble. They do not seek recognition. Their actions speak louder than any words. Real wealth lives quietly in generosity, patience, and kindness. It is not the size of your bank account, but the size of your heart that makes you rich. So next time you see someone who looks ordinary, look closer. You might be standing in front of someone extraordinary. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a reminder that wealth is not what you have, but what you give. And remember to subscribe for more timeless life lessons every week, because the richest hearts are the ones that give without needing to be seen.